In the ever-changing environment we live in, survival depends on more than just maintaining balance. Welcome to Chapter 3 of Allostasis, Homeostasis, and the Costs of Physiological Adaptation, where we dive deeper into the intricate mechanisms that govern our body's response to stress. Chapter 3 of Allostasis, Homeostasis, and the Costs of Physiological Adaptation explores the dynamics between allostasis, achieving stability through change, and homeostasis, maintaining a stable internal state. The chapter delves into how the body adjusts to environmental stressors and the physiological causes associated with these adaptations, referred to as allostatic load. The key focus is on how chronic stress or repeated stressors over time can lead to overactivation of the body's adaptive systems, which can damage health, leading to various issues like cardiovascular problem, immune dysfunction, and metabolic disorders. The chapter emphasizes the delicate balance between the body's ability to adapt and the wear and tear resulting from a prolonged or excessive stress.
The definition of stress in homeostatic. Stress is defined as a state in which homeostasis is actually threatened and perceived to be so. Homeostasis is established by a complex repertoire of behavioral and psychological adaptive responses of the organism. Stressors comprise a long list of potentially adverse forces, which can be emotional or physical. Both the magnitude and chronicity of stressors are important. When any stressors exceed a certain severity or temporal threshold, the adaptive homeostatic systems of the organisms activate compensatory responses that functionally correspond to the stressor. The stress syndrome is a relatively stereotypic, innate response that has evolved to coordinate homeostasis and protect the organism during acute stress. Changes take place in central nervous system and in various peripheral organs and tissues. In the CNS, the stress response includes facilitation of neural pathways that subserve acute time-limited adaptive functions such as arousal, vigilance and focus attention, and inhibition of neural pathways that subserve acutely non-adaptive functions such as eating, growth, and reproduction. In addition, stress-related changes lead to increased oxygenation and nutrition of the brain, heart, and skeletal muscles, which are all organs crucial to the central coordination of the stress response and the fight or flight reaction.
Homeostat Theory with the concept of allostatic load by David Goldstein. The discussion delves into the relationship between homeostasis and allostasis. Goldstein expands on how the body maintains stability. Homeostasis through dynamic processes, emphasizing that it's not just about balance, but about adapting to changing demands and stress or allostasis. The concept of allostatic load is introduced as the cumulative wear and tear on the body system when exposed to repeated or chronic stress. This load can disrupt the homeostatic processes, leading to long-term negative effects on health. Goldstein explores how various psychological systems, including cardiovascular, neuroendocrine, and immune functions, responds to stress and how they can become dysregulated if allostatic load becomes too high. This explains how allostatic load links to stress-related diseases and aging, suggesting that while short-term adaptations, allostasis are beneficial, prolonged stress can overwhelm the body's capacity to return to baseline homeostasis, leading to systemic breakdown. The theory provides insight into how stress impacts overall health and how maintaining balance is a dynamic, ongoing process that can be compromised by excessive allostatic load.
Homeostasis is the body's ability to maintain a stable internal environment, like a thermostat, keeping temperature steady. In contrast, allostasis refers to how the body achieves stability through change, adapting to stressors dynamically. For instance, when faced with a threat, our heart rate increases, and stress hormones are released to help us cope. However, these adaptations can come at a cost. Chronic stress leads to what's known as allostatic load, which is the wear and tear on the body from prolonged stress responses. Imagine a caregiver for a chronically ill family member. The constant stress can lead to health issues like hypertension and also contribute to mental health disorders such as anxiety and depression. The implications of allostatic load on mental health are profound. In anxiety disorders, the brain's stress response may become overactive, heightening feelings of worry. For depression, chronic stress can lead to feelings of hopelessness. PTSD provides a clear example. After trauma, individuals may remain in a state of heightened arousal, which affects both mental and physical health. Consider veterans returning from combat. Many face PTSD due to extreme stress, and their bodies struggle to return to a balanced state. This chronic allostatic load contributes to anxiety and depression. Similarly, emergency responders exposed to trauma can experience similar issues, affecting their overall well-being. All in all, understanding the relationship between allostasis, homeostasis, and mental health is crucial. Addressing both physiological and psychological aspects of stress can lead to more effective treatments for those facing these challenges.
The Homeostasis theory and allostasis. The concept of homeostasis, the ability of the body to maintain a stable internal environment, has long been a cornerstone of physiology. However, the traditional view of homeostasis as a fixed set point has been challenged by the idea of allostasis, which recognizes that the body must continuously adjust its physiological parameters to adapt to changing conditions. The Homeostasis theory, developed by W. Ross Ashby, provides a framework for understanding how complex systems like human body maintain stability despite external perturbations. The key insight of homeostasis theory is that homeostasis is not achieved by a single control system, but rather through the coordinated action of multiple feedback loops and effector mechanisms. This allows the body to dynamically calibrate its internal set points to meet demands of the environment. One example of allostasis in action is the body's response to cold exposure. When the core body temperature drops, the sympathetic nervous system is activated, leading to vasoconstriction, dilation, and shivering. These responses serve to increase heat production and retain heat, helping to restore the body's core temperature. However, if the cold exposure is prolonged, the body may reset its thermoregulatory set point to a lower temperature, a process known as allostatic settings. The concept of allostatic load extends the idea of allostasis, referring to the cumulative wear and tear in the body caused by repeated or chronic activation of the physiological system involved in adaptation. Prolonged or excessive allostatic response can lead to a range of negative health outcomes such as cardiovascular disease, metabolic disorder, and psychological problems.
Why zebras don't get ulcers emphasized that while stress is natural part of life. Its chronic activation can have profound and detrimental effect on both physical health and psychological well-being. Understanding the mechanics of stress and allostasis can help individuals develop healthier coping strategies and promote better overall health.
Hi, my name is Erica Rakian and I will share you guys the summary of merging of the homeostasis theory with the concept of allostasis. This chapter combines two important concepts, the homeostasis and the allostasis, to better understand how stress affects our health. So, what is the homeostasis? It is like a thermostat in our house. It keeps things stable, like our body temperature. So let's just think it is a set point of our body system. So while the allostasis is more dynamic, it's like a thermostat that adjusts based on different situations. So our body changes its set points to adapt to stress, like when we were exercising or in under pressure. So there's a problem. It's called allostatic load. It is like wear and tear on our body from constantly adjusting stress or adjusting to stress. Imagine our thermostat constantly going up and down, and eventually it might break. So this chapter argues that combining homeostasis and allostasis help us understand the long-term effects of stress on our bodies and also in our minds. It's not just about one system or one set point, but about how our whole body reacts to stress. So this new understanding can help us develop better ways to manage stress and prevent chronic diseases.